personal log, day 21. Today was a little bit more eventful from the last one. I still did continue doing farming, and you might be able to see over here, I started to get some perfect plants. Some plants with growth 10, gain 10, and strength 10. So all of those I've just put into the full 3x3 area and let them grow out to their fullest. So you can see I got it with potatoes, with beetroots, with cactus, and with canola seeds as well. Everything else is still growing, but I'm making progress. That's one of the first things I did, but one of the other things, main things, I realized that the farming is kind of a sit around and wait kind of task, so I should move on to something else. What I moved on to was better storage. There we go. And I tried to do a couple of the quests in this line. One of the groups down here you'll see is this ender, well, area. Enderlink chest, enderlink bag, an ender tank, and an ender bucket. Basically, the idea behind that, if you're not aware of what it does, is basically these are a lot of different chests and tools and things that all connect to each other. For instance, over here I have this ender tank, and over here I have this ender bucket. And the idea behind it is that this is a really big tank that you can store a lot of fluid in, for instance lava, and that by using this ender bucket with the same color scheme on the side, that it actually stores and can pour out that kind of thing. So over here I can right click to see that I have 4k millibuckets, or I have 4 buckets of lava in here, and I can shift click to put it down, or I can just normal click to pick it up. And so that's a pretty handy way that I can get fluids moved places. But in a different way, I also have this enderlink bag, and it's a similar idea. It connects to this enderlink chest over here. This enderlink chest only has a 3x3 area, it only stores 9 items, but I can access those items anywhere, so for my case I put my tools inside of it. I've seen ones that do better, but this one does for what it needs to at least, so I'm happy with it for now. So that was a big thing I did. Otherwise, you can also notice over here that I got the manulin casing around my heater over here so I can get a better lava production as well. And all the lava I make, I just instantly put into the ender tank as well. I tried to set up so the fluid dropper would drop it directly into it, but it was not working that way. A couple of other things to note. I made this thing called the dirt chest. It's rather pointless. You can store a stack of dirt inside of it. That's about it. So I made that and threw it off the side. I made this uncolossal chest. That was a adorable tiny chest. And the idea behind that one is it only stores 5 stacks of stuff inside of it. But that can be a good buffer, I hear, for machines we'll make later on. So it has a purpose, it's just not really has a purpose yet for where we are. And then finally, I kind of worked on these other ones to the side. Stone storage. This basically seems to be a double chest, but one area. I'm guessing that if I read it correctly too, if I stack multiple on top of each other, they all have access to each other, so that would be good. Store junk box. You appear to put random things in here and it stores them. It's kind of a different shape but the same idea. You put multiple together and they all work together. Stone queue. The idea on that one seems to be that you put items in and you take the items back out in the exact order. If you know about queues in programming, it's a similar idea, I believe. But if not, don't worry about it really. It's a thing. I'm not going to use it yet, but maybe in the future if I find a good reason for it, I would. Lastly, I made this thing called an anti-barrel, and basically the idea behind that one is that this stores a lot of things that do not stack. For instance, if I put loot bags inside of it, it would store a bunch of those loot bags easily, kind of thing. It's designed to hold things that don't stack. Or another thing would be bows or items of clothing, the different mob drops. I tried coming over to my mob farm and replacing my obsidian chest with it. However, I learned quickly that the anti-barrel does not store normal items. It stores odd items, the things that don't stack, but doesn't store normal things. So I wasn't able to just replace it. But later on, once I figure out a good setup, I might get that done somehow. We'll have to see on that. But I think that's the majority of the big things I got done today. I made a lot of manulin, like I said, so I could get the siding, and I put it back in my chest over here. And I'll be able to use that later. Maybe I'll improve my tools with that. I don't know. They definitely could use for an improving. But that will have to wait. I'll continue working on the mob farm. I think next time my main goal will be to finish off this better storage area. With these obsidian stuff, that's going to be definitely tricky. I might also, technically, at some point go into the nether and try to make a better mob farm in there. As it is, I kind of just have to walk in and kill the mob that I want to get the drops that I want. and that's not really efficient, especially with so many pigmen in the area. I need to get some blaze rods to make these ender chests, and that was not an easy process, so I might need to redesign that, but I'm going to handle that once I get there. For now though, everything seems to be working fairly enough, and I'll just improve them as I go. But that should basically about do it for today. I hope you found that informative or fun, and hopefully I'll be able to see you next time. Until then, have a great rest of the day, and goodbye.